Hello, everyone. This is Glasscast. I'm Max Glassberg.
And I'm Patrick Hansen.
All right. So our first topic of the day is the neutral sites, which occurred after the Damar Hamlin injury, and the game was declared not playing. They will not play the rest of the season. And there's a lot of different situations and a lot of different scenarios. And this is going to be very confusing, but I'm going to try to dumb it down for you guys just so you understand it more. So, if Kansas City wins versus the Raiders, Buffalo wins versus New England, and Baltimore wins versus Cincinnati, seeds will be Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. That means in the championship, it would be Cincinnati versus Kansas City, and it would be a neutral site. It would also be a neutral site when Cincinnati beat Baltimore, but Buffalo and Kansas City still won. And there's four different other ones that would not have a neutral site. But there's one particular one when it says Cincinnati versus Kansas City in the championship, AFC Championship. That there's only one situation where they would have a neutral site, Cincinnati and Kansas City. And that would be when Vegas wins, Patriots wins, and Cincinnati wins this week. And also, that would also be a neutral site for Buffalo versus the Chiefs. Our final neutral site would be Vegas wins, New England wins, and Baltimore wins, and that would be Buffalo versus Kansas City neutral site. So obviously, this is very, very confusing.
Extremely confusing. I honestly think it would be more interesting if it was a neutral site, because has there ever been a neutral site AFC Championship game? I don't think so.
Can't recall.
No, I don't think so. So
I definitely can't.
I think it would definitely be interesting to see one.
Pat, do you like the neutral site, or do you like a coin flip better? What do you like?
I like the idea of a neutral site because I feel like home field advantage plays a huge role in whether a team wins or not, in a way. So I think the coin flip would really change the outcome of the game.
I agree with you there. Also, a coin toss would definitely cause a lot of controversy around the league.
For sure.
And there will be talks about this. This is gonna be very memorable. People are gonna just talk about this for the rest of their lives.
Oh yeah.
Neutral site after this terrible injury, and hopefully it never happens again. But it's just the NFL had a lot of options, but I think they chose a pretty good option with the neutral site.
Oh, I think the coin flip any other way would really. There's no other way to really decide this at this point, and I think the neutral site is perfect.
All right, so now we get to our second topic, which is the college football championship. What are your opinions on this, Pat?
So I want to say that TCU is going to win. I want them to win, but I think that Georgia is going to take it home. I just think that they're too talented on both ends, and I don't know if they could keep up with Georgia. Georgia's defense has shown all season that they're really good. And, I mean, even playing they played the best offense in the country last week, and they did end up winning. So I think that, if Georgia's offense can score, I think they can win this game.
Good opinion there. So the line is Georgia minus 12.5. So I would not put TCU as to win the game, bet on their money line. But I don't think they're going to lose by more than 10 points.
Oh, I agree. I think they will cover TCU.
I just think, it's a college football playoff. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a solid game. And Max Duggan has shown you that he just doesn't give up. That guy he's got heart in him. And I think they could squeak it out too, but it's probably not very possible. I do think they cover though.
I think also another bet would maybe be betting the over on the game because these are two experienced quarterbacks that have played in big games before. They're not going to let their emotions get kind of take control of them. I think that there would be a lot of scoring in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. I love a lot of scoring. I remember I think 2 years ago the college football playoff, it was remember Justin Fields played in that?
Yes.
Dude, I remember the first game. It was just how many points were scored in that game?
God, God, I don't even.
I can't even tell you. Yeah.
Like the semifinal games this year were probably some of the best in a while. Like considering that the past few years they've put in like a 4 seed that hasn't been as good, and this year they've had competitive games all throughout, which has been great.
Yeah, everyone thought Cincinnati was going to, be amazing, and then everyone thought TCU was going to be the same as Cincinnati, but TCU shut them up, and they beat Michigan, which I was very surprised by. I knew TCU was legit, but I didn't think, they were just going to control that game as well as they did.
Yeah, like I thought that game was going to be a blowout on Michigan's end, and I was really surprised to see TCU really score on that Michigan defense like they did.
Yeah, definitely. And also, Georgia has home field advantage, basically. It's at Mercedes-Benz. It's really not that far. So that definitely will play a factor, I think. It definitely will. There'll be a lot more fans from Georgia. I know my friend's sister goes to Georgia, and she's going to the game, and there's a bunch of people just going there. And it's going to be basically home field advantage.
Home field advantage in college really, really, like, helps determine the outcome of a game. Like, you can really use that to help you bet a game.
100%. All right, so we're going to get on to our NFL weekly picks. Let me just pull them up real quick. All right, NFL. Little slate tomorrow.
Oh, I forgot they have the Saturday games.
Yeah.
Jaguars, Titans. That game's going to be great.
So tomorrow there is 2 games. The first game is the Chiefs versus the Raiders. Mahomes versus the new quarterback, Jarrett Stidham. He went to Auburn. He wasn't a terrible quarterback.
He didn't play awful last week either.
Yeah, but he's not. I just don't think the Raiders will win this game.
No,
and
they don't have a chance, to be honest.
I mean, KC -9. They might just blow them out. But then also they barely beat the Broncos last week, so. You never really know with Mahomes. He could have an early start, but he always finds a way to win, I feel like. And Kelsey will have a big week.
No, I agree. I think both tight ends will probably end up having a big week, Waller and Kelsey, to be honest.
All right, so we're taking Kelsey and the Chiefs in that game. We move to 8:15. One of the biggest games, most controversial game of this week, definitely. We got the Titans versus the Jags, both fighting for playoff spots. So, Trevor Lawrence versus Malik Willis.
Jesus.
So, what do you think, Pat?
I honestly think that Trevor Lawrence is going to lead the Jaguars to a playoff spot here. I think that he's done an amazing job turning this team around this year. A team that started off really slow, but has just gotten better and better throughout the season. And I just think that his play is at like a whole nother level right now. Like him and Fields are at a whole nother level compared to every other rookie quarterback that was drafted in that class right now.
Yeah, I mean, Titans' defense is good. Jaguars' defense is good. I think it's going to be not semi-low scoring, but it's going to be like a pretty low-scoring game. I would not expect a 30-30 game, something like that. I would expect more 24-17, 28-24, not super high scoring. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to take the Jaguars. I don't know. It's -6.5, and I don't see the Titans covering. I don't see Malik Willis covering, but he might show us something. He has not played amazing, but he might just go crazy.
I think that this game for the Titans is gonna. I mean, this is obvious, but it's gonna hang in the balance of Derrick Henry. Can they run the football with Derrick Henry? Because Malik Willis has shown that he's not ready yet to really pass the ball at this level.
Yeah. All right, so we move to Sunday. And first game, we got the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm a Bears fan, and I am definitely going to say I would bet on the Vikings, and I think they will win by 20 points because we do not have Justin Fields, which is our only source on offense. David Montgomery actually just posted on Instagram. He said, last ride, 32 ! So this might be his last season as a Chicago Bear, and I feel like he will have a good game, but there's just no way that the Bears have a shot. They have Kyler Gordon out too, a bunch of defensive guys not playing, and I just don't see it being a close game. Justin Jefferson's just going to burn everybody.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are gonna win. But one question: are the Vikings playing for anything? Like,
The Vikings are playing.
are they playing for a spot in the playoffs? Because I feel like that determines something also.
Yeah, one sec. The
Because they are a very, very inconsistent team, the Vikings.
oh, definitely the Vikings. I think the Vikings are. They're definitely not going to win the Super Bowl.
No, I think they're probably a candidate to get upset in the first round, I'd say.
All right, so, with a 49ers loss and a Vikings win, the Vikings will hop into the 2 seed, which is absolutely crazy. That is nuts when you really think about that.
Yeah, because it feels like they've struggled so much at times this season when they've played better opponents like Dallas and Green Bay and the Eagles that one week. It's kind of crazy to think that they're in position to get the 2 seed, although they've kind of struggled so much.
Yeah, definitely. Vikings, I think they'll end up as a 3rd seed. We'll bring up San Fran in a second about their game, so let's go back to the the games. Second game, Buccaneers Falcons. You know, Pat, I'm gonna let you start with this one.
So I have the Bucks winning this one. I think that it's hard for me to ever count out Tom Brady, and I think that he could pull off an upset in the first round. I'm not going to count out that team making a run. They've played awful all season. I just cannot count out Tom Brady. Anytime I've counted out Tom Brady, he's came back and he's done something big. So I can't count him out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And even if, the Buccaneers play terrible the whole game, they're down, and they get to the end of the game, and the Bucs end up down by 2 points, and I think we all know what's going to happen. Tom Brady's going to drive down that field, and he's going to win the game. And that's going to be humongous for them because they are in a big spot. They won the division, I think. Did they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Where are they? Bucks. Where are the Bucks?
Go down, I think.
Oh no. Well, yeah. So the Bucks did win the division. Are they playing for anything?
No, I don't think they are. So I don't know. Maybe they
Actually,
rest.
Maybe they rest. No, I don't.
I could see him resting Brady. Maybe Mike Evans, just because of his history and
So
Godwin.
yeah. So they locked up the 4 spot
Yeah.
because their division's terrible. They're only 8-8. So even if they lose this game, they will be below 500 and win their division, just like you saw in the NFC East a couple years ago. And now that's just a powerhouse. But no, yeah, Tampa Bay doesn't have much to play for. So, and the Falcons, I feel like they always get it. They always end up like winning games at the end of the season. They never end up top 5 picks. Well, top like 4-3. And I think the Falcons have a shot in this game now. Now that I think about it,
I think they do too. I think one of the reasons why they have a shot is because Desmond Ritter is going to try and play himself into maybe more playing time next year. I doubt it, but I think that they probably will try and end up drafting a quarterback next year. But I mean, Dennis Ritter's going to go play his heart out, so there's a chance.
yeah, definitely. So next game, Patriots Bills, and the line is -7 for Buffalo. This is in Buffalo, and both teams are fighting for playoffs. But the Patriots, they don't look too great for the playoffs. The Bills, we were talking about the scenarios earlier, so they actually they don't. It doesn't really matter that much if they win this game, like for the playoffs, their seeding, but it really depends on Kansas City and Cincinnati and how they play. So Buffalo, obviously, they want to win this game, and they could still get the 1 seed somehow. The 1 seed will wait. Do they get the 1 seed? Can they? I don't know how the tiebreaker works, but they can have the same record as the Chiefs if the Chiefs lose, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they didn't play the game, so it's the scenarios. It's crazy.
It's so confusing.
So
I
right,
still don't have that.
So right, Buffalo wins. They're 13-3, right?
Yeah.
And then Kansas City loses. They're 13-4. Buffalo will be the 1 seed.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, Buffalo will be the 1 seed if they win and Kansas City loses. But if Kansas City wins, they already locked the 1 seed up. But And then we got the New England Patriots. They're at the 7th spot right now. And they're looking pretty good. They are looking pretty solid, but they need to win this week. And if they don't win this week,
they're out.
Then, not true.
Actually, you're right. It's not true. I mean, who holds the tiebreaker between them and it's them, I guess, because they're 7 seed.
So they hold the tiebreaker between the Dolphins and the Steelers. But if they lose and one of those teams win, they're done. So, but also Miami and the Pittsburgh Steelers could easily lose. I still can't believe the Steelers might have a shot to make the playoffs.
I honestly think that's probably out of those 3 teams, the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Steelers. I think that the Steelers are possibly going to sneak in. I think Mike Tomlin's just a winner. He's going to win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios for one more week of football. I added this extra year, and it's really, really helping out because all these teams tied 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and it comes down to one more game. And if they win, they're in. So they control their destiny, just like the Packers do. And the Packers, wow.
Sunday Night Football.
Packers.
It's going to be an amazing game.
Wow. So everyone thinks the Lions, at the start of the season, what are they, 1-7?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, awful, terrible.
No defense at all.
No, nothing. But then something just clicked, and they never looked back. And somehow they're 8-8. I don't know how they're 8-8.
I just think their defense has really stepped up, and so has Jared Goff. Jared Goff has been playing
out of his
well
mind.
lately.
Yeah, he's been playing. He's a very underrated quarterback. But the Packers do control their own destiny, and I don't know if I can bet against Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't know if I can either. It's just like Tom Brady for me. Like, if you want any 2 quarterbacks right now to lead your team to a playoff spot, and you know they're going to perform in the clutch, I would take Brady and Rodgers.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, so let's go over the Packers and the Lions playoff spot. So obviously, if the Packers win, they will win because they will get into playoffs because they will have the tiebreaker over Seattle because the Seattle owns the tiebreaker right now, but the only reason that is because it's against divisional opponents, and the Packers will be playing the Lions, which is a divisional opponent. So Packers win, they're in. Lions lose, Lions win. So the Lions win. And they need the Lions to make it. They need them to win, and then they need the Seahawks to lose. So it's very possible, but they definitely need to win the game. So that's the main thing because the Seahawks definitely can lose, but playing the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, he's been hot lately. He's been playing legit. So
I mean, just looking at these standings right now in the NFC, it's kind of crazy to think about all these teams that were considered teams that are probably going to tank this year and not be good. I know the Giants were not going to tank this year, but this was a team, the Giants, who not many people thought would make it. Not many people thought the Seahawks would be anything this year, especially when they announced they were starting Geno. It's kind of crazy to think that the Seahawks, the Lions, and the Giants are in position to make the playoffs right now.
Definitely. So let's just go to the couple more games. All right, we're not going to talk about Texans Colts because pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of the fight of the. Actually, I'll talk about it for a sec. It's kind of the fight for the draft pick. So Texans, if they lose, they get the 1 seed. They get the first overall pick in the draft, which is 100% ideal because you could get any quarterback on that list. And Colts, if they win, they will probably be. They want to lose too. They both want to lose. So it's basically who wants to lose more. That's the game, basically.
The Colts are a weird team. I thought the Colts were going to be really good coming into this year for some reason. I thought the Colts were going to be a good team I thought that Matt Ryan was going to play better, way better than he did. I thought that he was going to play well with Pittman. I thought that Jonathan Taylor would play well. It just never really panned out to be anything for the Colts.
Yeah. So if the Texans win this game and the Chicago Bears lose to the Vikings, the Chicago Bears will have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And my guess is they 100% trade back, and they get some nice picks for it. So there's a lot of, even with draft picks, not just playoff scenarios, there's everything. This week is very important.
Jets are done.
Yeah, Jets are done.
Yeah, as we talked about it, Dolphins basically got to beat up on this Jets team that might squeak in a win, but if I was a Jets fan, I would want to lose. I want to get a better draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, as a Jets fan, I just think that, our offense is going to be awful this week. Joe Flacco as the number 1 quarterback. We're just going to throw the ball 50 times and hope we score somehow.
That's better.
But yeah, I think our defense is going to determine if we win this game, like it has all season. I think that we're probably going to stop this team right now because last week their offense looked deflated without Tua. It didn't look like it was the same offense it was. And I don't even know if Tua's ever going to play again after that concussion again. I mean, I don't think he should at that point.
Yeah, so Dolphins still have a shot at the playoffs, and they're gonna probably, I think they'll hand it to the Jets. Yeah, so if you're gonna bet on this game, I'd probably take the Dolphins because they're fighting for playoffs, and Jets are not in the playoffs. But it's the Jets. The Jets don't give up because they're Jets.
It's the first season we're not giving up in a while. Every other season we've given up.
Yep. We'll just skim through the teams that like the games that don't matter. So Panthers Saints, the battle of the mid. Saints are always mid. It's crazy.
Lately, that's all they've been since they've dumped Drew Brees. They've just been okay. Nothing.
I feel like every single year they're like 8-8, whatever, that almost like right at 500. It's just boom. And then we got the Panthers. And somehow a couple weeks ago we were thinking they had a shot to win the division, which is unbelievable how bad that division is. And yeah, man, Panthers they could have won the division, but they just didn't. They didn't beat Tom Brady.
I think if I'm the Panthers, like I'd want to lose this game. I feel like you have a better chance of picking a better quarterback. Like I think that Bryce Young is going to go to the Texans. I think that he's the best quarterback. And then that comes down to whether if the Panthers would want to select C.J. Stroud or Will Levis, which I think they should select C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Browns Steelers. Deshaun Watson came back a little too late. He got the winning going. They won a couple games with him. They're 7-9 right now, which they were not looking good when Deshaun came back, but he's kind of uplifted them. And I could definitely see them winning this game, but I just feel like Pittsburgh at home to get into the playoffs potentially. I mean, you can't count out them. I just think you can, and I would have to just go with the Steelers.
It's like one stat that always just comes into my mind when I think of the Steelers is the fact that like Mike Tomlin has never ended a season with a losing record, which is just crazy to think that he's sustained that success for so long. So I have the Steelers winning and covering this game.
Yeah, definitely. So we go to the 4:00 games. We got how many games we have? 3 or 4? We got 4. Wow, 5.
Jesus.
Am I reading this correctly?
Yeah, 5.
5 games at 4:00. All at 4:25. No 4:05 games. So the first game is the Chargers versus the Broncos, and I cannot tell you how much I love watching this Chargers team. And even when they don't play great, I just sense something. I just sense some really good Justin Herbert. I just sense something really good at him, and I think he's gonna have an amazing career there. And Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, they got a bunch of weapons on offense, but can their defense hold up? Their defense at the start of this season, everyone thought, oh, they got Khalil Mack, they got Bosa, they're gonna be a top 5 defense, and they have not lived up to that. But I definitely think the Chargers pull this one out. The weird thing is, Denver is losing 3 points, which is unbelievable.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, I guess they're possibly banking on the fact that the Chargers are not going to play their starters, possibly, thinking about it, because, dude, I don't think they have anything to play for this week. So I think that they could bench their starters, and maybe that's what the line's being made on, but I really don't understand still, even if they bench their starters, -3.5 for Denver just doesn't seem like normal.
So, Russell Wilson though, he I feel like he might squeak this one out. So and I think he will have a better career there next season. There's been so much backlash. I think they'll be 7-9 next season, around there. They're not going to be amazing, but they'll be right there, and they'll have a shot at some point. But I don't think they're going to pull it out.
I hope they're better. I want to see him succeed. I always loved him growing up.
Oh, definitely.
So then we go to the Cardinals versus the 49ers, which is in California at Levi Stadium, and San Francisco is losing 14.5 points in this game, which is unbelievable for the last game of the season. I mean, they do have stuff to play for, but they also have a Mr. Irrelevant quarterback, but he's also a dog.
He's been playing out of this world. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that he was the third-string quarterback going into the season, and now he's playing like he's been starting the whole entire season. He's a seasoned veteran.
Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins is out. Their quarterback for the Cardinals is absolutely disgusting. They have nothing there, and they probably do have the worst team in the NFL right now.
Oh, they definitely.
I definitely think that they got nothing at all. JJ Watt, last game, really sad to see, but definitely I'm taking the 49ers. And
I don't know if they'll. Yeah, I think they could cover, but I don't know. 14.5 is a big line, so I don't know.
yeah, I would just
I'd stay away from the spread.
stay away from this. I don't know. Maybe 49ers just because the Cardinals are so bad.
Yeah.
And then we move. There's two more games we're going to talk about. Rams, Seahawks, and Cowboys, Commanders. We'll start with the Rams versus the Seahawks. And this is humongous for the Seahawks. But even if they win, they still might not have a shot to make the playoffs because Green Bay controls their destiny. So they need a Lions loss and a win, and they're in. But they're playing at home, so I think that the Rams, they're like the Cardinals. They have no quarterback, no weapons,
No running back, no
nothing.
receiver.
Yeah,
nothing.
no. So I'm definitely gonna take the Seahawks in this game.
Yeah, same.
100%. And yeah, that's really it. I'm just gonna take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'll take the Seahawks too. I mean, next game you got Commanders Cowboys here. Line is 7 to Dallas. I'd probably take that line. I don't think the Commanders are very good. I mean, they were playing good for a few weeks earlier in the season, but now, I don't know, the Cowboys have more to play for.
So, there's been a lot of stupid things happen with this Commanders team. Their owner, he has a lot of problems in this league, and he's been asked, and everyone wants him out. Nobody wants him in. We've all seen the Sean Taylor statue, which is disgusting.
Oh my God.
And it's like really disrespectful because this guy was just amazing and he fought for us and he died in war. So I just don't like anything that's happening. I don't like their field. I don't like anything about the whole team other than Taylor Heineke's heart, but I would definitely take Dallas. I don't care if they're not playing for the game, but I just don't see the Commanders winning this game with Carson Wentz.
No, I don't see him winning either. Carson Wentz is a quarterback who I honestly thought that the Colts should have kept. I thought last season that Wentz didn't play awful until that last game. I think that he made a step up compared to his last year at Philadelphia, and then this year he just takes a huge step down again. Which I don't know why. I honestly think why he plays so bad is when he has a somewhat talented quarterback behind him. Like when the Eagles went and picked Jalen Hurts, that's when everything went downhill for him. He really did not. He wasn't the same player after that.
All right, so that is our NFL picks. So that is what we got. And the next thing we're going to be going over is NBA. And we're going to go to Los Angeles, pick the Lakers. And they had a really, really unique defensive scheme that I think will be utilized from other teams yesterday. Was it yesterday, right, Pat?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
And it was very interesting. And I'm gonna have Patrick Hansen tell you about it.
All right. So the Los Angeles Lakers, I think it may have actually been 2 nights ago, but they played the Miami Heat. And so what they did is they ran a box and one with Dennis Schroeder, who was guarding Tyler Hero for a majority of the game. And it worked. Hero only ended up having some 9 points, and it worked for them. And they're playing this defense where they really shut down the Heat in a game that they probably shouldn't have won, considering that LeBron and AD were out. And I think that them playing as good of defense as they did last night without Anthony Davis is pretty remarkable.
Yeah. So that was a zone, right?
Yeah, it was a box and one.
So a box is, obviously the box in the paint. So we got top elbow, other top elbow, and block. So, and then there was one guy, Tyler Hero. He was on the 3-point line. He was getting face guarded by Schroeder, while everyone else was just playing basketball. And they didn't want Schroeder to get the ball. They didn't want Hero to get the ball because he's lethal 3-point shooter. He's gonna boom you. Boom. And they didn't want that to happen. So this is very unique, and I actually think a lot of teams will not maybe use this most specific thing that they did, like the exact thing they did, but they're gonna have different schemes of this, and this could be big. It also could be nothing, but I really do like the idea, and it worked. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's what I think about that.
The box and one defense, it's been around for a while, but I just think with the amount of scoring that's going on in the NBA right now, because every other day you see a guy having a 50-point triple-double, I think that they're going to do this more with players because Lakers really shut him down, and I think you may see us on another player. I don't know if you're going to see it on a player like Luka, who's the point guard, but on other scoring shooting guards, I could see a team doing this on Devin Booker or Donovan Mitchell. But yeah, I think it's a way to shut down a 2-guard or a wing pretty easily.
Yeah. And another thing that's happening in the NBA is their records being broken every single day, and it's absolutely ludicrous. Luka Doncic, Giannis, everybody. I can't there's probably nobody's breaking records because the NBA is just, it has changed so much. There has not been a sport that has changed so much, from even the 80s. Even the 2000. I feel like the 2010s it's changed.
It has. I think it's also a perspective thing because I think that the points per game, the average points per game probably has changed a lot. But I think this is probably the most interesting the NBA has been in a while, in my opinion. I think that the more scoring these teams are doing, it's interesting. It's definitely not as interesting as college basketball, where you could tell in college basketball they're playing 100% every single play. But it's okay basketball, definitely compared to college. It's not very good.
Yeah. So my favorite basketball was Derrick Rose back in the day. I loved it. I loved the game then. It was kind of similar. It was similar to college back then, I feel like.
It was, yeah, I'd say
a little similar.
It was more similar. I think one of the main differences, and this has always been a difference with NBA and college, is the fact that these teams in college are running an offense. In NBA, it's one-on-one most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw a clip a few days ago, I think it was on TikTok, and it was about the Houston Rockets offense. And it was they were just playing one-on-one, and they kick the ball out. Ball. Yeah, it's literally like street ball. And, I feel like it definitely shows that that's not a winning formula when they're one of the last-place teams in the NBA.
So we're gonna move to the college basketball rankings. This year has been a little weird for the college basketball standings. I think all these top 5 teams, were they top 5 when we started the year?
I'm not sure. UConn was not. UConn's been an amazing story this year. They've came from being I think they were the 4th team ranked to finish in the Big East to being the 4th team in the country. And I think that right now in college basketball, I don't think there is a definite number 1 team. For any of these top 5 teams, Purdue, Houston, Kansas, Connecticut, and Arizona, there's an argument for each and every one of them to be number 1 right now.
So I think March Madness, this might be the best March Madness we have because I don't think anybody has a clue who's going to win. You know, most of the years it's like you got Zaga, you got Duke, but, you know, this year is like Purdue's number one right now. They lost to Rutgers, so they won't be number one. But you got Houston. Kansas is always there.
Yeah.
But they're legit this year. They have not been this good in, I
mean,
think,
the national championship. They're the reigning national champions. I mean, it's weird to think that a reigning national champion has a pretty good chance to win it again. I think one of the reasons why college basketball right now is the tournament's going to be so good is because of the fact that even these mid-major teams have these 5th, 6th-year senior guys, and they're more experienced than like a team like Arkansas, which is full of freshmen that could get upset in the first round. These teams have experience, and they've played in big games, these guys. So there's always a chance that upsets can happen right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's gonna be so many crazy things that happen at the end of the season. I do not think this top 5 will stay
Oh, no.
further until the rest of the season. I think maybe UConn.
I think Houston will
I
probably.
love UConn.
I think Houston will stay their way in the top 5. I don't think they're playing like the AAC. I don't think the AAC is very good. I tell Memphis is decent. I know, but I think Houston will probably, even if they lose a game or two, I think they will make their way back up in the top 5 because I think when the season ends, they'll probably only have around like 3 losses. So
Yeah. There's so many teams I feel like skill-wise, and they're just so close to each other. So it's just going to come down to right at the end of the game, the last 2 minutes. It's going to be just so important in March Madness. And I actually think March Madness is going to be, you know, we've all talked about these upsets 16-1. I think we're going to see a lot of little upsets. Like, you know,
5-12.
5-12. We're not going to see the big ones this year.
I hope not. Messed
Yeah.
up my bracket last year. I know that.
But I think we're going to see a lot of little upsets, and it's going to build over time, and people aren't going to really realize that there's so many upsets. But I just think all these teams, every team is just so close, and it's going to come down. It's going to come down the last 2 minutes of the game, and I think all the games could be great games.
Yeah, another thing is that a lot of these teams at the top have a lot of talent, definitely because of the transfer portal. Like, there's guys who came from those mid-major schools who are scoring 20 points per game. Like, I can think of Miami right now. They loaded up on transfers with having Isaiah Wong and Nigel Pack, and they've loaded up on transfers, and I think they're going to be one of the best teams come March.
Yeah. You know, and also, like, there's another team, like TCU. Like, they got their college football team, and now they got their NCAA team, 13-1. They got the NCAA team, 13-1. They're legit this year.
That reminds me of Baylor. I think a few years ago they won the Big 12, and then I think did they win the national championship, or did they make it to the national championship that one year? I think it was 2 years ago. It's when Jalen Suggs was playing college basketball. I remember.
Oh yes, I remember that.
I remember he hit that. I think it was like the half
That was
court
amazing.
shot.
That was crazy.
God, I was on vacation watching that. It was crazy.
Yeah, March Madness is just it's I think it's the best thing ever in sports. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. If it's and it lasts like a while. It's not like, you know, Super Bowl 1 game. You know, all these other things. College football playoff 3 games. Like, it just keeps going, and there's games all the time, and you just never know what's gonna. It's just like, I think the excitement of basketball is just unbelievable at college. It's just crazy.
No, it is. It is. I think one of the big reasons why is because of the defense. In the NBA, it can feel not exciting sometimes because of the amount of scoring and how like it seems like, especially more in the regular season, how I feel like when you watch a game, you think every time a player is going to go down, they're going to score. In college, you have teams that are pressing the whole game and that are built on pressure defense, like West Virginia and like Marquette. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely more interesting. Another thing I see just looking at the records, and not the records, the rankings, is that the amount of Big 12 teams in the rankings is pretty crazy when you look at it. You got TCU, Baylor, you have Kansas State, who's going to be in there next week. Kansas is at the top. Texas is up there too. It's definitely one of the best conferences in college basketball this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I still think Zaga is gonna have a shot. I don't really care about the losses in the early. I feel like it's gonna happen, but it all comes down to March. It all comes down everything. It doesn't matter what your record is. You start 0-0, you're gonna have to get through everyone to play. So
Yeah, I just don't know about Gonzaga. I feel like they've been that team with Jalen Suggs is really good, but I feel like since that team, like, and even a little bit before that team, they've always came in the tournament high ranked with big expectations, and they've never really, besides that year with Jalen Suggs, they never really succeeded those expectations that people put on them.
Yeah.
Because every time I look at people making their brackets, Gonzaga's always in the Final Four, and it seems like they don't get there every year.
Yeah.
I don't got anything else. I don't think. I mean, that's a lot of throwing stuff. So I mean, what you got anything else, Pat?
Nah, it was a great podcast.
All right, so very very happy to have Patrick Hansen on today, and I think it was really fun, and we enjoyed it a lot. So thanks for everyone for tuning in, and have a good one.